a grade 1 sorcerer that encompasses putting others before himself, and the man with the greatest glow up in the series, Kento Nanami. Nanami is what some of us would call the adult of JJK. Just off his first introduction, the contrast between him and Gojo was completely opposite. Yet Gojo is the senior between the two. Nanami is a strict dude with morals in a world where crazy, self-centered, and out of the box is viewed as something to be praised for. You would think off first appearance Nanami would be someone the higher ups would have in their back pocket, but considering he respects Gojo on a physical level and his vision for the others, he sides with the Jujutsu sorcerers. After all, even though he views being a sorcerer as shitty, it's not as shitty as working a 9 to 5 where you feel lifeless and your actions mean nothing in that space. And if you work a shitty job like that, I'd be a sorcerer any day of the week. Or just let a zombie apocalypse sweep through. That works too. I always like the difference in how Nanami teaches, or at least looks after Yuji in comparison to Gojo. Nanami is traditional in the sense where Gojo would inform them verbally or physically, but he would rather have them in the deep end, in the deep waters, and learn from there. He's also kind of a show and tell as well. In the Verse Mahito arc, he took initiative on trying to exercise Mahito himself and not taking Yuji because he's not ready for that type of fight yet, and even though he doesn't know what could happen himself. Once he realized the threat that was Mahito and his growth, rather than the current fight that was taking place right then, he was the initial character to let us know just how dangerous Mahito will be in later arcs. And their fight, even though it was short, showcased both of their abilities as well as how innovative binding vows and extension techniques can really be. And also that running away as a sorcerer is a reasonable option in battle. Nanami is a grade 1 sorcerer, some will call him the definition of a grade 1. Physical beast of a man that you really wouldn't expect because he's in a suit all the time. He's definitely leveled up compared to how he looked in his Jujutsu high days. Nanami's curse technique ratio allows him to put a weak point on an opponent, whether it be a human, curse, or an object, by a ratio of 7-3. And with an extension technique, which is what the name entitles, of collapse, which puts a weak point on a wide area instead of a single target. I always looked at ratio as a technique that could always give Nanami a chance, whether for victory or to create a plan and come up with something else. I'm currently sharing the record for most consecutive black flashes ever landed at 4. Proving just how powerful our salaryman is, being blessed by the sparks of black. That added scene in the Volume 0 movie, still badass to this day. And with a binding vow placed on himself, at 6 p.m. Nanami reaches overtime, a state where Nanami's curse energy will increase and reaches full potential of the amount of curse energy he can carry. My favorite moment for Nanami in a fight is definitely the beatdown on Shigemo, as he rolls up his sleeves and goes to work, and this panel of him entering the hallway and targeting Shigemo, who was stabbing Ichichi and the other assistants in the back, you already knew what was about to happen. He was already heated, and the minute he laid eyes on Shigemo, he whooped his ass literally from top to bottom. He even got him crying like a bitch, asking how many did you kill, while he's grabbing him by the shirt with his fist raised. With a nice assist from Nobara at the end of this portion, sends Shigemo flying into multiple walls with a ratio punch. One of the most satisfying moments in the series, as Shigemo is one of the most annoying and worst characters in the series. Nanami, after the Gojo sealing, felt like the new leader of the current sources we have in Shibuya, because he took control rather quickly and kept it as real as possible with everyone he gave orders to, telling Nobara that she's not ready for the battles upcoming, and he wanted her to stay with Nita and guard her and the other assistants. But sadly, that did not happen. During the Dagon battle, Nanami wasn't the strongest in that fight. It was actually Nobito, and he was still able to stand out notably in this fight because not only because he's a recognizable character, but he has the respect of both Maki and Nobito. And this whole fight in general is just freaking amazing. A boss battle, raid style fight, done almost to perfection with multiple character arcs incorporated in there. And Nanami assessing the situation and leading the escape with Megami forming his domain expansion in the middle of Dagons was definitely a highlighted moment for him as a character. During the Dagon battle in Shibuya, Nanami suffered some severe injuries. Even though he was able to escape with Nobito, Maki, and Megami, he happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, being in the same area as Jogo, special grade disaster curse that just lost a fellow curse that he would call a friend. So Nanami, along with the others, were victims to Jogo's curse flames. One of the most brutal and straightforward moments in the whole arc. And Jogo's still better than your favorite character, remember that. And this was the moment I dreaded the most reading, because I knew the moment they returned to Nanami after this incident, half cooked, half baked, looking like Two-Face, Mr. Night Suit was sadly about to be put to rest. And of course it had to be none other than Mahito, a straight demon. Although I love you as a villain, they gonna learn this season, they gonna learn. Anyways, as Nanami slashes through some of the curses and transfigure humans in what was a final moment for him to let loose and be a little crazy himself, it was all cut too short with Mahito touching Nanami, signaling it was time to go. And then one of my personal favorite moments between two characters in JJK is Nanami's final words to Yuji. We know final words before death can curse someone, depending on how it's worded. Without saying too much, that will leave a burden on Yuji. And thinking of Haibara who died, he simply tells Yuji, you've got it from here. No revenge seeking, no seek and destroy declaration. Simply telling Yuji, who's been progressing as a sorcerer and suffered a lot at an early age, to just take care of business like usual, and that kicked off the final battle in the Shibuya incident arc. When it comes to Nanami as a character, in my personal opinion, I always felt like he never was a top 10 favorite character for me, but he was always a character that I just appreciated was there, because he does all the little things that we normally don't think about, especially in a series like JJK where so much mystery, crazy, and just unorthodox things happening. And he brought a perspective that was just different from where we were at. Something similar to Yuji, where Nanami is a regular dude and he doesn't really view sorcery as his be-all end-all. That's probably why he had the salaryman job to begin with, because he just viewed life as more important and greater than how some sorcerers are viewed. Even some of the students, like probably Yuta, Hikari, characters like that, or even someone like Megami, where Nanami looked at things like, hey, Yuji's a kid, he's gonna go through things that realistically he shouldn't go through, and I'm not gonna fault him for being a kid and being a child when he has moments that he either messes up on or he shows a lot of emotion, because that's going to happen. Man, I always felt like Yuji kind of needed someone like that next to him. And the fact that he got that in the verse Mahito arc, and even in Shibuya, even though he wasn't around Nanami the whole time, having someone that he could really call upon when Gojo or someone's not there, he instantly thought of Nanami, was a good touch to add as to how much Yuji appreciated Nanami being there for him. I always thought his terse technique was really cool, especially in the anime. I think they nail it so good in the anime. And for comparison's sakes, I always looked at Nanami as like the Captain America of JJK. He's not the strongest, because obviously that would be someone like Thor, but he was just someone that you can kind of just put your trust in. And I just felt he added way more layers to just the story and just the lifestyle of a sorcerer overall than even some of the strongest characters. He was just different for what he is, even though from an outside standpoint he looks normal. And of course his character design, fire, and one of my favorite character designs in the series is Suit. And when I say he had the best glow up in the series, it ain't even close. Shout out to characters like Mei Mei and whatnot, but Nanami, from the Suit to that first year that he was there, it's almost like a completely different person. But I can't wait to see all his moments finally animated in season 2, or by the time some people see this, seeing it already animated. Even though it's actually gonna be kind of bittersweet, because we're gonna see his best moments and technically his worst moments by the end of this. So man, I gotta see some of those reactions to his death, because ooh, that's gonna be fun to watch. Leave a like, comment down below your thoughts on anime and all that stuff. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the second channel. I'm actually just finishing up watching Dressrosa and reading it, so it's gonna be like a video for that on there, because I've been keeping up with One Piece. I'm close to getting there and catching up. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.